Welcome in, girls, gays, and fellow ghouls. Your shift is about to start. I'm the critter in your corner, Carly.
And I'm the sous chef, Jalen.
And you're listening to Ghoulie Girlies. I almost said watching. They are watching, though.
Listening, watching, whichever platform you're using today.
Heck yeah.
Whatever platform we can figure out how to use.
I know. We only figured out YouTube right now, but what are you gonna do? This is Mochi. You might see her on my lap. She's gonna be here the whole time today. So,
she baby. And we got mics now, so
hopefully we sound well. I know we sound better than before. Yeah. So how have you been in the past week?
I've been chilling out. I'm bothering myself with this mic right now. Living life, breathing air. Very tired. Very awake.
Me too.
How about you?
Yeah, about the same. My baby is teething at 3 months old, so that's been something. Very sleep deprived. I can't give him Tylenol because his liver or kidney or whatever is underdeveloped. But he's sleeping right now, hopefully, for this whole thing. So, yeah. But yeah, what are we doing today?
We are going to be talking about a little case. I know nothing about the case.
Yep.
She knows about the case.
It is the disappearance of Asha Degree. I have my trusty dusty binder that I have all my notes in. So sit down, get comfortable, grab a snack. We're going to talk about it. All right.
I'm ready to hear about it.
You know nothing, right?
I know. I barely know her
like
name.
what I told you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, disclaimer for one. Our theories are just theories. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We are not here to mock anyone, make fun of anyone. We are just here to cover a case that I personally felt like needed to be talked about more, and this is why I'm covering this one. Yeah, that is our little disclaimer. Oh, and also there are mentions of people passing away, child abductions, things like that. So if you're sensitive to that or don't want to hear about it, we will see you next week for Jalen's episode. All right. So, now, I can speak from experience as a mother that children are very often seen as a blessing to families. They are laughter that fills an empty room. They keep you busy. Your life revolves around them, and that is no different for Asha Degree's family. So, who is Asha Degree? She was a 9-year-old girl who grew up in Shelby, North Carolina. She was very close with all of her family. They described her as a very intelligent, loving, caring little girl. Very big in basketball. She loved basketball. Yeah, she was just pretty much a normal 9-year-old girl. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Alright, so she is nicknamed Shelby's Sweetheart. She was born on August 5th, 1990, and like I said, she's described as bright, loving, and happy. She loved basketball. She excelled at it, actually. I forgot to mention that. Her family says she was very good at it. She took it very seriously as well, as I'll explain later. And her family, her parents were described as protective of their kids. Like, they limited their internet access. They had a radius outside that they could play in. If they went out of that radius, then they would get in trouble. Pretty normal parent stuff, I would say. They went to church every Sunday. Their family kind of lived all close together, so close family. She hung out with her cousins a lot, but church was one of the biggest things they went to every Sunday as like a family. So what happened? Let's get into that, shall we? The timeline varies. From the sources that I was looking at, it doesn't vary much, but there's just a lot missing from the case that's either not public or just is unknown. So some of the things in here are kind of all over the place, because this case did take place in 2000, so 25 years ago. Long time. Yeah.
Okay.
So Asha went missing on February 14th, hence the name Shelby Sweetheart. That's what she's nicknamed, which is also her parents' anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So between 2:30 and 6:30 was when she was last seen by her parents. Her father heard her going to the bathroom. And then when they woke up around 6:30, they did bath time in the morning. and they were calling all the kids to come have bath time, and Asha didn't show up. So they went to check and her room was empty. She was gone. Her shoes were missing and her book bag was missing. There was no signs of forced entry. Nothing was broken. It didn't look like there was a struggle. She just disappeared. So around, it was like 6:39, her dad Harold called the cops and reported her missing. I did read the 911 transcript because they had that available, and it was pretty normal. I mean, the dispatcher could have been a little more helpful, I think, in my opinion, but he was just letting her know that it was a black young lady missing. She's 9 years old, and not even 2 minutes later the police showed up to their house, which, bravo to them. That is very quick.
Yeah, we don't see that these days.
No, you do not. But yeah, 6:41 the police arrived after the 911 call, and the police had canines, and the canines could not pick up a scent at all. Isn't that weird? Strange.
Of her own? Completely?
Mm-hmm. Could not follow a scent.
The whole house?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because there was too much of it because she lives there. I don't know though.
It could be, yeah. And she would always go between like family houses, so maybe they just couldn't. That part to me stood out as kind of strange because I've never heard of. I don't know. I will say, there was a very bad storm that night.
Oh. Okay.
So maybe it that also comes into play later. The rain, there was a lot of rain, so maybe it washed away. But even then, you would think canines can pick it up through, I don't know. I don't know how canines work, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, but so that's happening. They're searching the house. And a little later, so this is where it gets aggravating for me. There were 2 separate truck drivers that saw a young black kid walking on the highway, and they didn't call the police. They did not call the police when they saw this child walking along the highway in the pouring rain. Yeah, so they didn't call the police. They only came out later to report that they had seen this child when they saw Asha's photo on the news.
So you looked at her long enough to see her
to recognize from the news. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't know. It's the early 2000s. Who knows? People were weird back then. But also, it's like if I saw a kid walking on the highway, I would be like, hey, where are your parents?
Yeah,
who are you? Where are you going?
Let's do something about this.
Right? I know. Don't just especially in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
In everything I was researching and watching, it was a downpour. It was bad.
Wow. And they didn't report her with anyone.
Nope.
I'm guessing. Wow.
So yeah, two separate truck drivers saw a child matching Asha's description, but they did not come forward until they saw her on the news. One even took 24 hours after seeing her on the news to report it.
That's not sketchy.
Who are you? Right? Isn't that strange? But yeah, so, and this was at 4 a.m. So Asha's dad heard her at 2:30. So an hour and a half later, she's seen on the highway. Which is very weird to me. How did she get there in the downpour in whatever? Okay. I mean, it's not whatever, but it makes me angry when I think about these truck drivers, because I'm like, what are you doing? Genuinely, if JJ was found on the side of the highway, I would hope someone would call it in, you know?
And most of the time when people see kids out and they call them in, it's a woman. How this isn't a gender thing, but how do you just not, how do you not think?
Especially if you have kids of your own. Wouldn't you want... Anyway, so one of the truck drivers' name was Jeff Roop. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He said that he had turned around to check on the girl, but she was, quote, walking with purpose and, quote, not looking lost, so he didn't think much of it. Even if you think you're going to come off as creepy, call the cops and be like, hey, I saw this little girl on the side of the highway, come and get her. You know? But, so, there is also said to be more witnesses, but no one else came forward. There's even another person who drove a truck that said they saw Asha walking into the woods, but again, no calls were made. No calls were made to report it. So that was the last known sighting of Asha, was going into the woods from the person who claimed to have seen her walking in there. But during the search, they were led to a shed that was pretty much... This is how it looked. So the road is right here. There's a huge, like, muddy hill, and then the shed. And a little girl in the pouring rain, you can't really assume she's going to go up there by herself without there being noticeable marks, footsteps, something. It was all undisturbed. But a Mickey Mouse headband was found, like a little bow. Candy that matched her Valentine's bag that she got was found in there. So there's candy, the Mickey Mouse wrapper from her Valentine's is matched to her. But when you look at this hill, and it's completely undisturbed, there's no signs of a struggle, someone's slipping up it. How is her stuff found in the shed?
Gosh, just a second to react though, like Mickey Mouse and candy.
I know, it broke my heart. Because, like,
yeah.
It was wrappers too, so she was eating it.
Because you start with talking about the victim, the 9-year-old victim, the 9-year-old little girl, the 9-year-old child, like
a baby, even like,
like my thought process just shifted, which was very strange for me too.
Yeah, because I mean, it's in your head too. You're like, oh, this person disappeared, but then it's like candy wrappers and a little Mickey Mouse bow tie, and it's like, that's a kid. Yeah, that's someone's baby. Oh, a pencil and a marker was also found in that shed.
Even more of a child.
I know.
Jeez.
So, like I said, she was most likely not able to reach the shed without help, making it unlikely that she went through on her own. And then there was also no scent, again, with the canines or disturbance in the grass, like I said, to the shed. So why was her stuff there? It is believed that the items were planted. So found somewhere else or taken from her somewhere else and moved to that shed. Almost hidden. It was like by a tractor, kinda. The trail ended at the shed. It went cold after that. They had no more leads, nothing else. But a year later, in 2001, a book bag was found wrapped in 2 plastic bags. 26 miles away from where she was last seen.
Oh my gosh.
Inside was Asha's belonging and also her name and phone number. So the construction worker who found it obviously knew who it belonged to because it had her name and phone number. But this led the detectives to believe that 1 or more people were involved in her disappearance. Like I said, 26 miles. She ain't walking that far. Like, what's up with that? But yeah, that was a year after that was found. So the case was cold until then. That reignited it a little bit. But fast forward to 2016. So 15 years later, the FBI released that Asha might have gone into a green car on Highway 18. It was a green Ford Thunderbird. Do you know what those look like? They're like the old-timey cars. But no one knows why they withheld that info for 15 years and just suddenly released it in 2016. Like, that could have been helpful, I feel like, before then. So that also angers me a little bit. That I feel like there's a lot that was withheld, which is also, like, you have to, as detectives, I guess, not mention everything that you know about a case. Like, in case the suspects or what have you, like, flee because there's too much, or false, because there were false confessions from people that the detectives looked into, but they pretty much were like, oh, this leads nowhere. Like, why are you confessing this? You didn't do anything. But each person that did confess or said they knew something about it was looked into very thoroughly. So, yeah. Ford Thunderbird was reported that someone saw her getting into. So, fast forward again, in 2024. Why is it jumping so much? I don't know. 24 years later, the FBI has new suspects and state that they believe Asha was passed away and her body was hidden. That is the theory that just came out, which isn't even a theory in my opinion, but... So, who are the suspects? That is... Okay, well, first, before we get into the suspects, what do you think of that? That's all that was released to the public about Asha Degree and her disappearance.
You starting a couple sentences with, like, this frustrates me, I'm like, okay, a lot is being frustrating right now. Oh my gosh. There's just no way that, like, not that you said, like, the stuff that you said was a whole lot of nothing, but this case is a whole lot of nothing right now. And that doesn't make any sense. And of course, I don't know if highway cameras were very popular or whatever, very used in the early 2000s as much as they were, but nothing. And I just wonder how rural the area they were in was.
I should have looked into that. But from what I read, I mean, all of her family lived close by, and it seemed like it was a pretty populated. What frustrates me, though, is how did no one else come forward to say that they saw a little girl walking on a highway, given it was 4 a.m, but also people go to work around that time, right?
Yeah.
And, like, truck drivers, like, the 2 that came forward, but only 2 came forward.
Yeah.
So, how do you not see a little girl?
Yeah.
Walking on the... If I saw a little girl walking on the highway, I see that. Like, that's weird. Let me report that. That didn't happen?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to believe no one else saw her. And if someone did see her, then you failed her.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
And I just wonder, too, like, you said that she was a basketball player, so the assumption with that is probably that she's tall.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that, people may have thought that she was a teenager, so they're like, okay, it's a teenager just walking down.
I will say one of the truck drivers did assume, the one that turned around, assumed that she was older, but then he, like, realized, no, that's a little girl. And then he turned around. But she's walking with a purpose.
Yeah, like, what purpose does a 9-year-old have at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Right. A few days before her disappearance, she did lose a basketball game. That's one of the theories that we'll get into later. So, the suspects, we have Roy and Connie Dedman. Now, I don't know much about them because, well, I'm pretty sure they are both passed away at this point, to my knowledge. But they are owners of many properties, one of which was a Cleveland Health Center, I believe it was. I say believe because that part kind of confused me a little bit in the sense of, what? You own a health center or like a property on it? That was for rehabilitation. Their daughter, Annalee Dedman, she is now noted in 2025 to not be a suspect. Russell Bradley Underhill is the other suspect. DNA was found on Asha's undershirt to match Annalee and Russell. Now, I believe them saying it matches Annalee was supposed to be like it matches the Dedmans just as a whole. I don't think it specifically was just Annalee. That also kind of led me astray a little bit there, because I'm like, what do you mean? It matched her, but she's not named a suspect. So I'm assuming that it's just that it matched the Dedman family. But yeah, Annalee Dedman and Russell's DNA was found on... Well, Annalee's was found on her undershirt. Russell's was found on just her belongings in the book bag. And in the book bag, a band t-shirt of the Backstreet Boys, which was proven to not even be hers. Asha's. It was not Asha's. And then a Dr. Seuss book from her school library. That part made me feel like sick to my stomach a little bit, because she just, like, she packed her book bag like a kid would pack a book bag. And that just, that breaks my heart.
That, too, in itself is like, clearly she did not pack her book bag to run away. She packed her book bag to go back to school.
Yeah. Remember how I mentioned a green Ford Thunderbird? Right. So the police towed a similar vehicle from the Dedman's property. The description almost perfectly matched that of the witness that said they saw Asha get into a car. Also in 2024, the police searched 5 separate properties of the Dedmans. They all had search warrants, obviously. And they used ground penetrating radars, you know, the things that, like, can look deep into the ground. And they also used canines. No avail with that. They seized multiple different laptops, phones. They seized notebooks. They really searched these people's, like, the property. And so, remember how I mentioned Russell Underhill? The Dedmans were close with Russell because Russell stayed at the Cleveland Health Facility for depression and substance abuse after his tour of Vietnam. Connie Dedman gave him his medicine at the facility, and Roy was his emergency contact. So they were very close. Like I said, Russell struggled with depression and substance abuse after Vietnam, which is very sad. You know, I'm not excusing what I'm gonna get into later, but that is just very sad. For especially back then, like, I don't know how old a Vietnam veteran would have been back then, but they had a very bad welcome back, you know?
40s?
40s, 50s,
probably?
yeah. But they just had a very bad welcome back after Vietnam because everyone was in the war is bad. War is bad. Everyone was in that, like, hippie, like, peace, you know? And so, yeah, who knows what that guy went through. But he stayed at the Deadman's property, and then he was moved to a different facility and then later went back to the Deadman's property. Here's where it gets kind of interesting. The shed that I mentioned that had some of Asha's items was only 6 minutes from Roy. So it was only 6 minutes from their main house, which goes back to the detectives believe it was planted, her items. This is also where it gets frustrating. Russell passed away in 2004. He was found in his apartment. I didn't look into his cause of death because this isn't about him. This is about Asha. But he died about 4 years after she went missing, which also makes me raise my eyebrow a little bit. Because a guilty mind does guilty things. So Roy Dedmond is considered a suspect, along with Connie. Annalee is not, like I mentioned. But the top suspect is Russell, who is dead. So the main thing that detectives believe to most likely be true is that Russell had a play in it, was the main reason Asha went missing and most likely passed away, and the Deadmans allegedly helped to conceal the body. That is the very unsatisfying ending of her case. It's very short because there's not a lot on it, which is sad, but we have theories we can get into as well that I wrote.
I'm in.
One of the theories that netizens like to talk about is sleepwalking, which is very implausible to me because how did she not wake anybody up? If she was sleepwalking, how did she perfectly pack her bag? How did she get her tennis shoes on? Because her mom did say her tennis shoes were missing. She noted that. You can't, and then walk all of those miles on the highway in the pouring rain, sleepwalking. That's just not plausible to me.
Sleepwalking with a purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
not looking lost, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think she was sleepwalking. Because I've known people who sleepwalk and that doesn't happen. They, like, make eggs or, you know, they don't... When you sleepwalk, you look like a zombie.
Yeah.
And according to that man, she did not look like a zombie.
Yeah.
So...
Plus, like, she went to the restroom, too.
Yeah.
So... That's a normal thing to do before you leave,
right,
or if you have to get up in the middle of the night.
That's exactly what I thought, yeah. The other theory people threw around out there is that she was groomed, which...
That's how it's kind of sounding to
right,
me.
but that doesn't make sense because she had no relation to Russell or the Deadmans at all.
Wow.
So, completely, like, at all. And her family was all very loving and supportive of her. They were all very close. I watched some interviews of her parents. They seem very sweet. I can't really assume that grooming was at all at play, especially because she did not know the Deadmans or Russell. This one, I did not hear a lot of videos talk about it, but a male witness overheard at a party, Lizzie Deadman. It was in the 2000s. This was literally after she went missing. A male witness overheard Lizzie Desmond allegedly confessing, "I killed Asha Degree." And then her sister, Sarah Deadman, the witness, also claimed she allegedly told Lizzie to, quote, "shut up." The male witness passed a polygraph about it.
Wow.
So, I didn't really hear... I did read that the police looked into it and they found them that wasn't, like, true, that she didn't... But also, it's like... You know when people say drunk thoughts? Whatever the phrase is.
Drunk actions are sober thoughts.
Yeah, She admitted that while drunk. So it's kind of like you can... makes you think, right? The Deadmans definitely, in my opinion, had 100% something to do with it. Just don't know in what way.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like... Russell was the guy's name? with
The one that passed away in 2004.
Yeah. Russell was driving in his green Ford Thunderbird.
Yeah.
He saw this little girl on the road walking. Why did she leave the house, though? Still some question marks there.
We'll get into that in a second, too.
Oh, you got a theory for that one, too.
I do.
Well, where I'm at right now is bro saw her on the side of the road and was like, I'm going to do the right thing. And I'm going to help her out.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I have a kid in my car. Oops. So he takes her to Buddy Deadman's. He's like, hey guys, what do I do with this kid?
That's interesting though, because you're kind of on the right track with what the detectives. Yeah, you're kind of on the right track with what the detectives believe happened. Yeah, big brain.
I should just get hired.
You really should be a detective. First of all, the Deadman sisters. That thing raised a red flag to me. Because even if they didn't kill her, maybe they had to seal the deal or do something instructed by their father. I did not look into them because this is not about them. This is about Asha. I don't know their family dynamic. I don't know how their dad was. I just know they owned a lot of properties and did things with rehabilitation and help for people.
I wonder how old the girls were at the time.
I believe they were teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like 16, I'm pretty sure, or older.
And a guilty conscience, if I were to experience something where I knew I could have prevented someone's death, and that trauma is me saying I could have prevented this, I killed her.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, that's actually pretty smart. I didn't think about that when I was writing this down. That's true, though. I mean, a guilty person tends to admit guilt in weird ways. I know, what's the thing? Like, when someone has done something bad, they tend to bring it up a lot. Or be like, oh, don't you think, like, this is the worst? But then they did that, you know? I don't know. That's called something, but I forget what it's called. It might just be the guilty conscience. I don't know. Like, the subconscious being an overplay. I'm not sure.
Something Sigmund Freud.
He's always the root of everything. Okay, so the next theory is a hit and run. That someone hit her and then buried her somewhere. But that's also not plausible because there was no sign of anything on the highway, like no car that swerved, no broken branches of someone being dragged. So
likely could have been DNA on.
Something.
At least Lil Russell hit her by accident, thought that he could save her, scooped her up into his car, was like, what can we do? Well, that car got taken. There could have been DNA on that.
So my theory, and a lot of other people's theories about why she left home, was because of the basketball game she lost. It is said that she was the reason her team lost, and that was the first loss of the season. I remember she's in 4th grade, so she's a 9-year-old. It was said by her family, however, that she got over it pretty quickly, in the sense that she was upset about it, but then she bounced back. She seemed happy, but then a few days later she left home, and some people think that it's because she was upset or embarrassed that she was the reason that they lost, so she thought it would just be more plausible to run away, or to get away, so that she didn't have that embarrassment. That's the only thing I can think that is palpable for her leaving home at 9, because there was really nothing else that happened.
And from a developmental perspective, especially if she was taller and she was in sports, she was probably pretty well healthy.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be completely out of the park to think, and she was almost 10, right?
Yeah.
At the time, yeah. So it wouldn't be really out of the park to think that she could have started in early puberty.
Oh, yeah.
And she could have been having a lot of those chemical imbalances, because I think a lot of, well, I guess not everyone, because a lot more people are normal, but just coming from someone who grew up as a young girl experiencing a really major loss, especially if you do end up having some sort of mental illness, being a little bit wanting to leave this earth isn't really out of question, unfortunately. Now, do I think that she left the house to end her life? No. But if she did leave her house on her own accord without someone grooming her or tempting her out, like, you don't just go on a walk to clear your head onto the highway.
No.
So there had to have been either some sort of a motive on her end, because unfortunately that thought process just happens sometimes with that age group.
Right.
Well, a little bit older typically, but once again, it's not out of the realm of ideas, basically.
Yeah.
That kind of would be my first thought, which was, I'm gonna go out and potentially do something destructive.
Right.
Which is sad to think about.
Yeah.
But there's no other reason that I can really think of why someone would just leave the house for no reason.
That's what I think too, is just she was so embarrassed that maybe she just wanted to get away. But again, there's so like many missing puzzle pieces to why she left that it's kind of like you won't understand, but then it's just a devastating outcome.
Yeah. And like, I guess too, my thing I was saying didn't really make that much sense either, because she was clearly not running away, because none of the stuff that she brought would have made any sense to run away.
Definitely like a little kid packed it.
Yeah. And with the library book, now sometimes you would say maybe she did plan to come back because she had to return that library book.
Oh yeah.
Or you could say that she wanted to go out with her favorite book.
We have an audience member now. I would like to just point that out.
Yeah.
If you hear baby noises or hiccuping, that is my son. He wanted to be a part of this. So, but yeah, no, her packing her bag, that's one of the things people talk about a lot, is that it's just clearly, like, I remember when I was younger, I would like pretend to run away, and I would pack like my favorite books or my favorite toys, and that's kind of seems like what was going on. Something that would comfort her, especially to the candy.
Yeah.
What I want to know about that part, this is going to sound kind of weird, but did she eat it or did someone else eat it? Because of how it was planted?
Yeah.
I want to know more, but it was 25 years ago. There's not much more we can know. But, so, the main thing, the detectives just last year and this year have pretty much, like, not confirmed, but they believe most likely happened was Russell. Yeah. Russell was driving the Deadman's car, the Thunderbird, the green one, and he had seen Asha on the side of the highway, abducted her, and then he needed help to conceal the body, and that's where the Deadmans come into play. So that's what the detectives think, because of the fact that the car was witness accounted for, and the DNA that was found. It all leads to pretty much Russell abducted her, and then the Deadmans helped to dispose of the crime scene and everything like that. Which, that is the only thing I can really think of that happened. But yeah.
I feel like so much more could have been investigated. Like, there's no proof other than the witness statement that she even got into that car. Y'all could have done a DNA test in that car. Y'all could have done more with that car. I don't know
something.
What
y'all
done,
I mean, what bothers me is that we'll just never know. You know what happened, and I feel for her family, especially as a mom, that like, what happened to her? They will always have these unanswered questions, because I mean, the main suspect is dead. And I mean, we have, like I said, the sisters at that party with that witness account. Makes you think. It's like, what do you know? Like, but why did she say that she killed her? I don't know. None of it makes sense to me. But especially too, like, I don't want to fully dive into this topic, because we can make a whole episode about it within itself, but especially the Black community tends to not get help from detectives and police. And again, I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't even born yet in the 2000s. I mean, I was born in 2002, but I wasn't alive during that case. So I don't know how involved the police were. But from what I read, I mean, it seems like they did most of what they're supposed to do, but I feel like there could have been more. There always could have been more.
And like, let's be real here, are the suspects white?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they are owners of a health and rehabilitation.
Yeah.
They're probably rich. They're probably funders for something that they can't lose that funding for.
Yeah, I mean, think about it too. It's like that car was just in their garage, like in the Deadman's garage. So it's like, you know, how did no one see it and be like, oh, that's the car that was on the news, that was reported, or you know, but it also too, like, why didn't they? I was reading something online that was like, why didn't they get rid of the car? And that, what you just said about them being like white and a little black girl was involved, you know, it's like, it's one of those mindsets of people that are like racist and whatnot, that maybe they thought they got away with it, and that's just not fair.
Yeah.
That's solely not fair. And like, they thought maybe enough time passed that they didn't need to get rid of the car, or it just makes me so mad. It pisses me off so bad. Because like, why, especially in today's age, I feel like the black community with crimes does not get help.
No.
Like, or enough help, or allegedly the police, and I say allegedly even though I think we all know what I believe here when I say this right now, is that the police allegedly tend to be funded allegedly by the KKK, allegedly.
Yeah.
I think we all know what we believe in this house right now.
Yeah. They're, like, they could have gotten so much more information. Like, now that we're really sitting here and deep diving and thinking about it, like, candy wrappers and some shirt that wasn't hers was in that book bag. That's and nothing else.
That's the part, is the shirt. Whose shirt was it?
And, like, we don't have any information on what was she wearing when she was
We
abducted?
do, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her nightgown.
Oh. Yeah, she was planning on leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was in her nightgown. Because one of the truck drivers said that they saw a little girl in a dress. And her parents did say that they weren't sure if she got dressed or not, which, no shame, no hate to the parents, I get it, but also, how do you not know, like, if you see dirty clothes on the floor or what she could have changed into? Yeah, no hate to them, I get it, but that's one of those things that's kind of like,
yeah. And when your child goes missing, you're not thinking about that sort of stuff, but that's when the detective should be coming in and saying, do you have any sort of an inventory on her clothes? Are you missing anything specific? Are you missing any money? I nearly certain.
And please comment below if, like, I missed something, or you know something that I didn't come across. But from what I read, what I've seen, what I wrote down, what we're talking about, the police could have done more. And if I'm wrong on that, if you know something else, correct me. We are very open to being corrected about stuff. I mean, that's the way it goes. You can only do so much in research. But yeah, no, it's very, they, like, especially to the canines not picking up a scent, to me is weird, because do you remember when my apartment got broken into, my car got broken into? The canine literally tracked the guy through the rain to the one apartment complex from where you and I used to live, that really sketchy one. The dog tracked him all the way to there. Lost his scent only because there was a whole bunch of different footprints.
Wow.
So, I mean, again, that was in 2023, 2024 that happened, so I guess dogs could be more advanced.
I mean, the training could be a little bit better, but once again, there's just no way.
No, but there is something, too, that I forgot to mention. So you remember how I mentioned they had, like, ground-penetrating radars that they're using in recent years to try to see if maybe, like, her body was on the Deadman's property? Two things I forgot to mention that I just remembered in my head. One is that the canines they used this time were specially trained in cadavers, I'm pretty sure. So that could be the difference, is maybe that, like, the canines they used back in the 2000s weren't specially trained for that. And then the other thing was that a neighbor had reported seeing Roy Deadman digging a box-sized hole in his backyard. My issue is, why didn't these people come out sooner with this information?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How racist of a town was this?
Yeah, well, it's North Carolina.
Oh yeah, it's a very racist town, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, what, the movie, have you seen Sinners, the movie? This is so off topic, I'm so sorry, but have you seen the movie? No, I haven't either, but there's the scene of the because it takes place in some time when, like, racism was very rampant, and the vampire comes up and, like, wants to get into their nightclub. The vampires can only be invited in, and one of the guys in the club was like, well, where are you from? And the guy goes, North Carolina. And the other guy goes, are you Klan? That's just, that just made me think about it, because I feel like the South, and I consider the Carolinas obviously part of the South, have very racist undertones and very racist history. And especially in the early 2000s, I mean, people didn't start getting with the program until like 2010s, I feel like. So, but as sad as it sounds, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together about the racism until you mentioned it. So, because in my head, everyone has the same feelings towards a child going missing, but I guess back then and in the South, we all bleed the same color. So why, this is a whole different tangent, not really, but why would a white child matter more than a black child? They don't. They matter the same.
And I'm sure if this was little Sophia, this case would have been solved in 2002.
Probably.
Before you were even born. So by February 2002 it would have been solved, and that a child could have returned home safe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely there's so many question marks with this case of, like, I just wonder if they investigated more into, was she writing notes or anything like that? Did they talk to any of her friends? Because if she said, I'm gonna meet my friend Carl, and he's 22 years old, and we're gonna go hang out after my parents go to sleep.
Right. Well, remember, her parents were very strict. Well, not strict, but they were very protective. They knew everything that was going on in her life. It is said that she was on the basketball team. She had to have had friends, but from what it sounds like, her parents, she didn't really have, like, outside access to meet anyone that's could have done something to her. That's why it just doesn't make sense to me why she left. I mean, like we said, I can understand them being disappointed and wanting to get away from it kind of thing, but or like how she even got into that car, like what allegedly Russell could have said to her, and we'll never know what happened to her. That it just eats at me a little bit, I have actually lost sleep because I don't understand. And just, like, as a mom, it makes me like, what happened? Like, I want closure for her parents, because her parents still are very active talking about it.
Good.
I read a thing, I don't know how long ago it was, but they did say they were holding out hope that she was still alive, and then I'm sure with the recent news they have to re-mourn again to be like, oh, maybe she's not, because, like, how does a little girl just go missing? But again, that ties back into, like, the racism thing, that like a lot of Native people go missing and they're never found because the system. My eye twitched. The system. The system just fails a lot of people of color. And it's horrible, and I hate it, and it needs to be redone. That's a topic for another day.
This is a great first case for this kind of work that we're talking about.
It was short, and it's very unsatisfying ending,
but it's just we need to talk about these kinds of cases more, because who knows, maybe it was Mr. Deadman and he got Russell to be take whatever fall he had.
The fall guy.
Yeah, what if what if Mr. Deadman got 4 more girls by now? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he passed away.
Oh my god, Mr. Deadman, why do you have to die?
But his family, I did read, they are very adamant that they are innocent. Nothing happened.
That's something a
How do you
guilty
define
person
innocence,
would say.
though? Do you think you're innocent if you just helped hide a body? Do you claim you're innocent? when you're not. You helped tamper with evidence or whatever the charge is. But I would like to say that, like I mentioned, he was a Vietnam veteran. He did suffer from substance abuse and depression. And as someone with, I don't have a substance abuse, but as someone with depression myself and PTSD, I can't understand having a psychotic break, but I can understand maybe he was not in the right state of mind, and maybe he did do something bad.
Yep.
And he should be condemned for that, but again, he has passed away, so even if it was found that he did it, no justice will really get served, you know?
I'm kind of stuck on my little theory of that man. He brought that kid over to that family alive.
You think?
I fully believe that for some reason. I'm not sure why. I think it was just some sort of a freak accident that brought her over there. Maybe it was like, maybe he took her, with the intention of either returning her home. Maybe he could have injured her or threatened her or did something worse to her.
That's what I was thinking.
And was like, well, I can't take her home now. Yeah. I just did this. What are we going to do with this kid?
Yeah.
And
that's when because it was said too that, I mean, like I said, they owned a whole bunch of properties, facilities, what have you, the Deadmans did. So maybe they, like, I don't know, wanted to protect their reputation. And if it was found that a hurt woman, she was not a woman, I would like to put that out there, she was a child. Remember, this is a kid. This is sad. This is a kid. I mean, it would be sad if it was a woman too, but it is her child.
With a Dr. Seuss book.
Yes.
Yep.
It breaks my heart so bad. And she was in her nightgown. But that maybe he did hurt her or worse, and he brought them over to the dead. Side note, why would you bring them to the Deadmans?
Well, if he had their car, he could have been bringing the car back.
I didn't think about that, and they were like, oh, we can't have this.
Yeah. But then that's another question. Was this car going northbound, southbound? Was it on the way over to their house? That witness could have at least remembered something like that if they were...
Yeah, and why was her stuff found in the shed?
Right, that shed.
That was like 6 minutes away from
his house.
Yeah.
Ooh, gosh, I am... Yeah.
That's why it seems like something worse might have happened.
Yeah. But then, because there'd be no DNA evidence, because where's this body at? And then you said that his DNA was on some of the stuff in the book bag?
Yes, but not her undershirt. The Deadman's DNA was found on the undershirt. But his DNA, Russell's DNA, was found on some of the items in her bag. Yeah.
I think there's more charges.
I do too. I definitely think, I mean, when you think about any other case too.
Hello.
But I will say, I don't know. It's when you think about every other case, it's kind of like, you know the outcome, you know what happened. Like, this is not at all comparable to the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer, but it is one of those things where, like, same with Ted Bundy. You abduct someone, you kill them. That's what it seems like happened, in my personal opinion. But if he was still at a care facility...
Oh, he should have been at that facility at the time.
How would that have happened?
Huh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. And if he was at that care facility, how was his DNA on her stuff? So either he saw her before he was in the facility.
Ooh, yeah.
Or he wasn't at the care facility, I guess, is the other option there.
Yeah, maybe he was released from it.
Yeah, and then why does he have the owner of the facility's card? That's just...
He's his emergency contact.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking there's something deeper with that, too, but again, it was 25 years ago, and half those people are dead. I mean...
What's up with everyone dying?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Well, Russell was 50 something when he died.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you were right when I asked how old would a Vietnam veteran be. He was 50. Yeah, he was 50. Yeah, he was 50 something. And again, did not really read up on how he passed away, but I'm assuming it was by his own hand. And he was found in his apartment. It was an apartment, and I'm pretty sure that the shed was 6 minutes away from Roy's.
Oh, that's
Deadmond. Yeah.
Just so it then.
Well, which also makes me think of they were trying to protect their image, but also why would you not just be like, call the police and betray this guy? Do the right thing and just call the police and be like, this dude just killed this little girl. Come get him.
And asked me to hide the body.
Yeah, like, why did they help him?
Yeah.
Like, what? That's why I'm like, what deeper ties do they have? Because that just does not make sense to me, literally at all.
Could have been some sort of blackmail thing. Like, I have this information on you. You're gonna put me in rehab for free. You're gonna let me use your car whenever I want. And you're gonna help me hide this body, and I don't care what you're gonna say, because I know this information about
property. It had to have been, blackmail something, but it just doesn't make sense. Because why? Because he's not blood related to them in any way. It's like, what did he have on them? Or maybe they just thought they were helping a friend. But either way, do the right thing. You're gonna have a guilty conscience, and your daughter's gonna be at a party in the 2000s and admit it drunk, allegedly. Even though that witness, he passed a polygraph. That guy, that witness, that heard it. And why would her sister be like, shut?
Yep.
Because it's not like they were tied to the case back then.
Yep. And you don't just admit to murder drunk. Like, I've never personally been drunk, but I've never admitted to a murder.
I've never admitted to murder. I've never once claimed I killed someone. When I'm drunk, I just get really slutty. That's all that happens. So I don't understand how you can drink, especially at a party with social people, and it is claimed that she was crying while she admitted it, or while she said that. Yeah. So I don't know. I really could not tell you.
If you're in what county?
Shelby.
If you're in Shelby County, North Carolina, or were there in the early 2000s and you know anything, you better tell your potentially, allegedly racist cops the information that you know, and you need to get on it, or tell the not racist cops.
Yeah. I feel
and maybe they'll do something. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm really stuck on this racism thing.
Yeah, well, because it's true. And I mean, like, us as white women, we don't have the full obvious experience, but we have what we see, who we're friends with, what we know as liberal women, that there's a lot of injustices, especially with people of color, and that's the one thing that will never make sense to me. Ever. Just like how most of the women that, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna say things that are gonna get me on a list right now if I keep talking, but there's just a lot of injustices, especially when it comes to, like, human trafficking, and, like, I feel like there's a system set up to fail people of color. And that's why certain minority groups are more likely to be abducted, killed, or sex trafficked.
And these are statistics.
Yeah.
These are well-known statistics. If you are not familiar with statistics on the huge, huge racial disparities, especially in the South,
especially,
on these sorts of crimes, then get with the program, or maybe we'll have a whole stats bonus episode.
That'd be kind of fun. I was just thinking about something like that. Well, not fun, but that would be interesting to cover, because I was just thinking about quote-unquote conspiracy theories that I personally believe, like the CIA stuff. I don't know if you know about that. With, like, I don't want to be put on a list, but there's just a lot that the CIA did to black communities that have set them up to fail, pretty much. JJ has something to say about that. They probably can't even hear him. I was just thinking about that with the mics.
We did some good theorizing, good social justice discussions today.
I mean, look into it if you haven't, because that's probably not something we personally... Well, I mean, we could cover stuff like that. That would be, but just look into, like I talked about the CIA stuff, if you don't know about that, and just, like, the statistics, like Jalen talked about. But yeah, that was the case of Asha Degree. Very unsatisfying ending. I apologize, but it's one of those things that need to be talked about and make you think, you know?
All right, and with that being said, thank you very much for tuning into our first official true crime episode of Ghoulie Girlies. We're going to be busting out these episodes every Thursday, and if you're interested in us, you could leave a comment so we can get some more attention.
Subscribe, like.
Just love us.
Just love
a
us,
little
please.
bit.
Yeah. What's your case next week?
My case next week is going to be talking about the Pike County murders.
Ooh.
A little bit, just a little teaser. It happened in Pike County, Ohio, a rural town, kind of in the depths of Ohio. And this case is over a custody dispute. So,
I've never heard about it.
And there are
so we're
8
going
victims.
from the south and just going. Okay. Interesting. 8 deaths, you said?
8 victims. Yep. And they're.
If you hear that, I'm so sorry. He's so mad at me right now.
The case is solved, and we have a confession as well. So there's going to be a lot to talk about on.
I know nothing about it, so I'm pretty. As someone who is very into true crime, I'm excited for this. Well, not excited, but to hear about something I don't know already. That's awesome. Okay,
Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, tune in, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about this case. If I missed anything, please tell me.
Yep. You can also follow us on TikTok. We're going to be filming some content for over there.
Yes, please.
Do we have any other social medias we want to bring up?
Not yet. We might make an Instagram, we might not. I'm personally just really scared of Instagram Reels.
We don't want to be bullied.
No, not at all. We may make one. We'll see what happens. But yeah, tune in next week.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Love you guys.